So now BuzzFeed is saying, you have to do it a little more subtly, you know, kind of like racists when they had the transition. They wrote this article, this is how you can use microfeminism to own men. Women act emotionally more often than men, and when you combine them, and we're okay with their gender roles, hey, you have one part of the pie that tends to be more emotionally in tune, and one part that tends to be more rational. All right, speaking of fat bitches, BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed had a recent article here, and comment below if you want us to do a whole show about this in the future, because this whole article is really, really bad.
There's like 25 different statements and points.
Here's the good news. The fact that BuzzFeed is pushing this idea of microfeminism to own men, in other words, passive-aggressive, you know, feminism, it means they have to cover it up because right now, feminism is deeply unpopular. It has been rejected. So this idea of don't catcall, don't hold open doors, don't be a chauvinist, don't infantilize, all these things, right, patriarchy, it's not working anymore because dating dynamics have been destroyed. So now BuzzFeed is saying, you have to do it a little more subtly, you know, kind of like racists when they had the transition. So they wrote this article, this is how you can use microfeminism to own men. It's time for This Week in Feminism.
This Week in Feminism.
All right. And by the way, you can check the reference. Go read the original article. It is terrifying.
It's all just a bunch of stuff that like try to piss off men.
Yeah.
And things that men won't care about.
Wait, their effort goes into that?
Yeah, they're putting in real effort on a daily basis to piss off men, and men are just like, what? You're doing that?
It's like they don't see that the net result will just be that men don't take an interest in you.
Right.
And then once their biological window is closed and then in their late 30s, they go, where have all the good men gone? Well, you treated them like a game, or you were microfeministing them, whatever it is that you call it. By the way, best way to stay in touch, follow me on Rumble, download that app. It's been downloaded actually more than the YouTube app in recent weeks. And follow me there. You get notifications when we are live, and that's 11 a.m. weekdays. But sometimes we do special streams. Okay, here's some of the best ones from Microfeminism to Own Men. This comes from Francis Joyce. It says, I translate sentences on Duolingo into the feminine form when I'm practicing languages with gender. So the judge is intelligent becomes the feminine judge is feminine intelligent, for example. So I thought this was supposed to be subtle, microfeminism.
Not so much.
It's the feminine judge is feminine intelligent. That doesn't even make any grammatical sense.
It doesn't.
No,
It's very specific.
Yeah, and I don't know how you think this is going to like stick it to the man, where he's gonna be like, what? She's feminine intelligent? I have to rethink my whole worldview.
Whoa.
So that's what she does
easier?
in Duolingo. She tries to spur You know what? We have to deal with AI now. Let me try this with Duolingo and ask Duolingo to try and translate about the feminine judge is...
The judge is a cunt.
Whoa!
Hey, whoa!
It's all about what you input.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Language.
Which runs to the next one. They say, gotta train AI to account for women. Well, I guess you did. So that's an actual quote from someone. Sky Hero 503. This is a real article from BuzzFeed that at one point in time, they had a press pass, to keep in mind. Like they were seen as real journalists. Yeah. Not moving out of the way on the sidewalk when a man is about to walk into me and clearly sees me and he could move as well. He really should be the one moving over. So a couple things before I get to this. So basically, you're acting like a high school bully in the hallways, bumping them with your shoulder, not moving out of the way because the man should move out of. Well, if you're both equal, then you follow the rules of the road, which is whoever. If you're both equal, there's no right of way. The person carrying the heaviest load is the one who technically has the right of way at that point in time. So really, it would be incumbent upon you to move. And if you're not actually using feminism as a shield holding men to a double standard, you wouldn't dream of treating a man this way, because if you were a man and you bumped a man on the sidewalk, you know that it would come to blows. But she's welcome to try. See, feminism, they don't realize who they hurt.
I don't even remember that.
No, that's the point. Exactly.
I didn't even feel it. I was texting.
Well, you had your mind on closet cup of cheese.
Yeah, I was doing a Taco Bell mobile order. How much extra does this cheese cost?
You have the up in the air lifetime executive platinum card.
Think outside the cheese.
Free cup of cheese.
He walks in and they go, "He's capo cheese el diablo."
Oh no.
Dios mío.
You take all the cheese.
Brave Chinchilla 277 writes on BuzzFeed, building other women spelled WOMXN, so you know it's going to be bad.
Yep.
Building other Wimixinen up around me at every chance. I put Wimixinen because yes, tram Wimixinen are Wimixinen. Response? No, they're not.
It looks like you're spelling woman.
Yeah.
You are a woman. No,
It looks like if it's like a transcript of Shawn Michaels was spelling women, but in the middle of it decided to do the Generation X sign. Like, oh, hold on, I got an essay to finish.
It looks like the faction of the X-Men that never launched.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's the B tier X-Men. Like a guy can stretch, but he can't do anything with it. He can just stretch like an extra foot. You're like, well, that's not really a power.
Is Mystique a real woman?
Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine made me feel like a real man. Now, Furry Ship 428. Oh, Furry Ship. I wonder what kind of sub-society of moral decay this person takes part in, huh? Furry Ship? Whenever a man is upset, angry, or having whatever feeling, I'll say something like, you're being really emotional right now. Or, I can see you're having a lot of emotions and big feelings. Look, let me just address this here. And this is something too. Feminism, and by the way, LGBTQAI, which is feminism's Frankenstein monster, it doesn't exist without feminism. Yeah. It turns people into caricatures. That's why it's an unrealistic beauty standard. If a woman, or if a Barbie doll looks like a Barbie doll, right? They demand that be changed. But if a man in drag, however, acts and portrays himself as a caricature of a woman, it's beautiful and brave. Then the caricature of a man is, men, because they just say we're over emotional and not, but they have feelings too, right? They want to act like they don't. No man wants to act like he doesn't have feelings. For crying out loud, you can read stories about Teddy Roosevelt, you can read stories about Abraham Lincoln, you can read stories about Alexander the Great crying, weeping in their brother's arms. The difference is men are typically, not all, men are typically governed by logic and reason. And more importantly, men have evolved to really be more adept at risk assessment. Quick risk assessment. Why? Because when you're hunting or when you're in the field of battle or you're in a high pressure scenario, which men have evolved to adapt to, you need to be able to make a quick risk assessment and go, okay, what decision here makes the most sense? What decision could lead to the most damage, most pain? Where's the risk? Where's the reward? And that's typically what governs us. We still have emotions, and no one tells them that they shouldn't have. You shouldn't be governed by emotions. And does anyone want to argue that women, by and large, not all, act out of emotion with more regularity than men? By the way, that also will be an adaptive mechanism because you need to be more emotionally in tune to mother and nurture children. We've taken the good complementary aspects of men and women, and then we've subverted it for evil. And they do this by turning someone into a character. Well, men say they don't have emotions, but they get mad. Of course we get mad. We don't say we don't have any emotions. That's not something that we claim. And of course, men get mad. That's often how they process grief. Women act emotionally more often than men. And when you combine them, and we're okay with their gender roles, hey, you have one part of the pie that tends to be more emotionally in tune and one part that tends to be more rational.
And that's
logical.
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful to have somebody right there next to you going, hey, here's the emotional aspect of this. Oh, crap, I didn't think of that. Or hey, maybe ignore that. This is the more logical approach. It's like, oh, okay, this is a nice yin and yang. It's necessary.
When they say to you, if you're your girlfriend or a wife, when they go, well, hold on a second. Let's just talk. It's not that they're not hearing your emotions. It's that they're going, do you really want to spend this emotional energy on something that Veronica said about someone else when you weren't in the room? And do we need to allow that to destroy our night and our peace in this household? Often when a man gets really angry, it's because of a threat. It's because of some kind of an action, like maybe he got screwed at work or something that could pose a threat to the household. That's the primary difference. But when she says, I'll tell them things like you're being really emotional right now, or I can see you're having a lot of emotions and big feelings. Willing to bet that you don't do that with black guys.
You're having some big emotions right now, aren't you? Really expressing how you feel. Does your heart hurt?
It just, not all, but a lot.
Wow.
And before we go on to Barack Obama, what a piece of crap. What do you expect? Come on. It's one of those days.
It is.
It's just one of those days.
No. We're not going from Creed to Limp
Well, that
Bizkit.
whole article is just how to be a bitch.
Yeah, It's how to make yourself completely unpalatable and undesirable to men. And then the article becomes why you don't need men. And then the article, another 5 years later, becomes why men are wrong for rejecting you. They're just afraid of a strong woman.
And there's tons more in there. Stuff like when when I'm talking and a man tries to interrupt me, I just talk louder and keep getting louder and louder and louder until I'm done. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we want. Just screaming. Oh, by the way, that car's gonna hit you.
Yeah, exactly. And this
trying to tell you.
I'm so glad I bumped that guy in the sidewalk. You're just a bad person. And by the way, comment if you want to do a whole show on this, because there are so many tips they're like anti-tips. You do it, you're gonna have a miserable life, and we can go through all of it. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle in the age of Instagram and shorts. I think you have some shorts up there. You have an attention span that is longer than that of a fruit gnat. So thank you. I'm glad you probably would like it a lot more if you actually head over and subscribe on Rumble. I'm live there 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, where free speech is still alive. Go to Rumble. Get off the social media ghetto that is YouTube, with a lot of homosexual activity here on YouTube. There may be some on Rumble, but I haven't seen it.